Wendy Mirrotto, and I'm with Kristen
Hi.
here with Kitten Krazy. And we have a cool show today because it's not just about adoptable cats that we have. This one is going to be gross. Gross beef is what my friend Dawn always says. It's gross beef. But we've been doing this a long time. I've been doing this since I started out of my house 18 years ago. And I had a vet friend of mine teach me so much. He said, Wendy, you need to learn how to do these things yourself. You're going to save a lot of money. You're going to be able to treat these cats on the spot. And so that's what we do. We've been doing it for 18 years. We know what we're doing. We can get rid of a lot of these parasites. But we're going to talk about parasites today. And in particular, we're going to focus on tapeworm. And we just so happen to have gotten 10 kittens in today, and you're going to get to see them because they're so cute. It's the gray bunch. And Kristen named them all after chocolates or Valentine's candy because
They will be ready. Probably very close to Valentine's Day, ready for adoption.
and they're all like either full gray or gray tabby tuxedo, mostly gray
I
tabbies.
think they're great, yeah.
Great tabbies, and they're so cute. But they're just a little small right now. They're not ready for spay neuter. They range from like about 1.5 pounds to about 1.10 pounds. So it's gonna take a couple weeks, 2-3 weeks for them to grow up all the way, get spayed and neutered. But you're gonna get to see them today because they have tapeworm, and we saw it right away. You can detect tapeworm because they come out externally, and when you see it, you know you can treat it. And so we're going to teach you about all kinds of worms, but we're going to just focus on tapeworm. But I'm going to hold this up, and thank you, Mike, for being here from Armstrong TV. And we actually have Keith here, who brought the kittens and then went back home and brought us the mama cats because we knew that they had tapeworm too, and we said, hey, bring them and we'll get them tested so that we know that the cats don't have, the mama cats don't have leukemia and AIDS, which we just tested them and they are negative for both. And so now we know that all 10 kittens are negative for both because they share the mom's blood. And they have not been around any other, cats or whatever. And if they were, they're probably not nursing or fighting, which is the only other way to transfer it right now. So everybody's negative. So we have mamas, and we're going to pull them out, and we're going to treat them. But in the meantime, I want to go over how this all works. Okay. So basically, Mike, do you need me to go this way? Okay. So there are some common types of intestinal worms in cats. And we see this one all the time, this roundworm. Babies are born almost 100% with roundworm. And if you look, and you can focus in on that, Mike, they look like spaghetti noodles. And it's funny because everything we do here, we liken it to some kind of food, which is really gross.
Yep.
But they do look like spaghetti noodles. And a lot of times when new volunteers come, and we have every kitten, the minute they get here practically, and today is a little different because we held them till the show, but they're going to get what's called strongid, which kills these roundworms. They kill roundworms, hookworms, and whipworms. And so these 3 are going to get killed by this product here that is ingested. We're going to give them. And like the next day, they're coming out in their feces. And they're dead. And they look like a little pile of spaghetti noodles. And so this stuff works fantastic. And you can get this stuff, Strongid, it's Pyrantel is the actual Pyrantel pomade. You can go to any TSC, Tractor Supply. You can go to PetSmart, Pet Supplies Plus. Walmart has roundworm medication. You should be giving your kittens roundworm, whether you have barn kittens, barn cats, whatever. If you give them a dose of this every quarter, you can keep these parasites out of their system for the most part. In fact, they can actually, don't do this, but they can actually have it every day and it not hurt them. So what we do is when they come in, they get a Strongid. The following week, they get another dose, and the following week, they get one more dose, just in case anything is hatching in there that isn't killed by the medication itself. Once it hatches, then it's going to get killed. And then anything left, if there is anything left, once again, will get killed. So we do 1 week for three weeks in a row. And that's what's killing these things. So what it's not killing is this tapeworm. So what we're going to give these 2 mama cats is going to be enough to get rid of everything. Tapeworm medication is harsh. It takes its toll on the cat. It kind of hits hard because it has to. These are found all in the intestinal tract, okay? But these guys latch on to the intestinal wall. And they're huge. They can grow and grow and grow and grow. When I had Quick Fix and we had the spay neuter clinic here, there were times that they would do surgery on animals and they would expel these enormously long tapeworms. So I wanted to show you, this is absolutely interesting. To me, it's interesting. To you, you might want to turn your TV off right now, but it's gross. For some people, but
That
this is a cat's
like
tapeworm.
Almost like real size there.
Yeah, it almost, well, that's way bigger than actual size. Actual size would be right about this. I mean, they are small. This is blown up, but the thing about this, am I swirling it around enough, or is that so good? Okay, so what you can see here is that it's in segments, and those segments have a name, and in those segments, and this is something that I'm just learning myself, doing some extra research, it is in those segments that this tapeworm's larvae live. And in each one of these segments is up to 20 microscopic larvae. So this is fascinating to me. This part of the worm, right about this first third part of the worm, is its body. This is the whole body of the worm. From here, where you see it start to segment, that's the tail. The tail. But each segment encapsulates about 20 of its larvae. So, let me read some things so I don't get it wrong, because, like I said, it's technical until it's not. And so let me just read some of this. So tapeworms are long, white, and flat, segmented, I'll buy a vowel, please, that can live in the small intestines of cats and dogs. And by the way, us, everybody, like mammals, everybody. They contain both male and female reproductive organs in themselves. So they don't need each other. They have a hook-like mouth that anchors to the inside of the intestinal wall, and there are 3 types. We only really see one type typically, heavily, and that's the kind, it's called Dipylidium. It's Dipylidium, and those are so specific to fleas. Fleas eat the larvae in the tapeworm eggs. It's a cycle. It just goes tick, 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 like this. Basically, it's a cyclical cycle. So the flea hatches, and before it becomes a live blood-sucking flea, it's called flea larvae. It's still a flea. But those fleas live on tapeworm larvae. This. Then that flea becomes a full-blown flea that now wants blood. It jumps on the animal. The animal licks themselves, cleaning themselves off, or eats a rodent or a bird or whatever that has fleas, and they ingest the flea, the adult flea, who has the larvae in them. The body of the cat digests the flea, but the digestive system is not strong enough to break into this roundworm larvae capsule.
Tapeworm.
The tapeworm.
Yeah.
Thank you. The tapeworm capsule. That is so strong. It cannot penetrate the tapeworm larvae until the larvae hatch in the intestines. And now you've got starting all over again. So they hatch in the intestine, they latch on, they grow, and they get so big that sometimes your cat will throw them up because there's just nowhere for them to go anymore in the intestine, so they'll unlatch and then they'll back up into the stomach. So you'll see them literally expelling out into little segments of little white rice. These actually, as they're coming out the anus, it's so tight that it pinches these little guys off. And you'll see the little white rice segments on the back of your cat. Sometimes they're on the tail, sometimes they're on their legs. And it's just because there's so many in there, there's nowhere for them to go. Sometimes they'll just expel themselves out, though, without being that full. But when you see your cat throwing them up, you need to get to the vet ASAP, or you need to get some kind of tapeworm medication, which you can get at Tractor Supply. They do sell this little bottle. It's called cat tapeworm tabs. Not real hard. There's usually 3 tabs in there. They're expensive. They're like $5 a tab. And so you want to read the instructions as to how much you give your cat, because it is based on your cat's weight. So if you have to, pick up your cat, get on the scale, get off, see the difference, because it really matters. All medication really comes down to how much is your cat supposed to get, because how much does it weigh versus how much you're giving it. So with that in mind, there are a few things that I wanted to tell you. That tapeworm never kills its host. It needs its host to live, but they can make the cat really sick. If it's a cycle that just keeps going, these parasites are taking resources from these animals. And when they have tapeworm, fleas, ear mites, anything, roundworm, hookworm, lungworm, these are all parasites taking resources from the cat and causing immunity to drop, which then allows them to be susceptible to other things. So you always want to get parasites off your animals to give them the best chance you can to be healthy. So what you're looking for with tapeworm, if you see them, if they're vomiting, they're already pretty bad. It will cause diarrhea. And we know when we get cats in, a lot of them have diarrhea. A lot. We can detect some, but just based on the smell, being coccidia or giardia, because they will make the wallpaper on the walls come off. It is so strong. But diarrhea caused from tapeworms is not that strong. It's just that the stool can't come through because the worms are there. So it's coming through as diarrhea.
Is it bloody sometimes?
Yeah, it can be bloody. A lot of things can cause bloody stool because you've got, all kinds of things. When the worm detaches from the intestines, it causes it to bleed. So when you're treating for these guys and they are being expelled and then you see the next stool come out and it's bloody, well, that's what's causing it. They'll kind of have little streaks of blood in there because it's coming down the path that is bleeding just from the worm detaching from in there. Nobody's going to eat spaghetti or rice for a very long time after seeing this show, I'm sure. If your cat loses weight, if its appetite is poor, it's because they can't fit anything else in there. All right, so you want to watch for those things. Those can be symptoms of much worse things too, though. But the good news is tapeworm medication works almost instantly. I mean, it starts working instantly. And in just a few hours, 4 hours, they say, 4 hours is enough of having this medication in there to start to kill the worms. And sometimes you'll see them expelled up to 24 hours later, but usually you'll see them gone within 48 hours. So if you do treat your cat and they are inside and you can look at the box, you will see them in there, the full thing. But the best recommended process is to give them another dose in a couple weeks, just in case any more larvae hatched. Now they're full grown and they're going to attach there. So yeah, totally want to do that. The best way to prevent tapeworm is to prevent fleas, right? So if the cat doesn't have fleas, it doesn't have any flea to ingest to become a tapeworm. So people say all the time, well, my cat's indoors, right? Don't they say that all the time? My cat's indoors. It's not going to get fleas. It's going to get fleas. If you have a dog that's going outside and going potty and there are wildlife living around your house, there's a chance that dog's going to bring in fleas. Everybody should stay flea treated year round in order to ensure that you're not going to get any of these other parasites. And fleas, they can live on an animal outside in the freezing cold because they're nice and warm, tucked up under the fur and everything. They don't necessarily die out in the winter, especially with animals going in their holes and it's nice and warm in there. So it's not true that there are no fleas in the winter. They definitely are. So I'm not going to read all this because we've already taken a lot of time just me trying to explain it without going too much into it. But you definitely want to take tapeworms seriously, and you definitely want to get them taken care of. And your best bet is to go to a veterinarian and make sure that, hey, Isaac's here. Come on in, buddy. And hi, Isaac. Here's our buddy Isaac, in case you were missing him and not me. So we're talking about tapeworms.
Oh, yeah, I've heard of them.
Yes, so we got all done. This is what they look like.
Ooh, tapeworms. Okay.
That's the kind of guy I like. Nothing scares this guy.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. So what we're going to do now is we're going to get the two moms out one at a time, Mary and Lexi. And one at a time. And what we're going to do, because we know that they have tapeworm, which means they have fleas. And then we also were just noticing that they have ear mites. And, nothing to be embarrassed or ashamed of. If you have outdoor cats, this is just normal. This is normal stuff that they get. Almost every single cat we bring in that's here for intake has all or some of it.
Yeah.
I mean, it just is. And this is why we do the show, to let you know that these are things you probably want to take care of, because people just don't know. They don't know where to get the treatment. They don't know how cheap it is. They don't know that they can go to the local store and get their own. I'm going to use an injectable Droncit, Praziquantel. I don't know, Mike, if you can see that, but Praziquantel is the active ingredient to get rid of tapeworm. And so this you can only buy from a vendor. You won't be able to buy it out there in injectable kind. Not that anybody's going to want to inject their cats. If you don't do it every day, that's not something you want to do. You're going to buy the tablet form, and you're going to do your very best to get it down your cat's throat. And if not, you can crush it up. You can add a little water. You can then try to syringe it up. You can just crush it up, put it in a can of tuna fish, because that kind of hides the taste and the smell. Any kind of canned food or anything that's a real smelly, fishy smell is good if your cats like fish. Not all cats do like fish. But just try to get it in them. If you can get it in them, you can get the tapeworm out of them. So what we're going to do is we're going to treat Lexi and Mary for fleas, rounder and hookworm, whipworm, and tapeworm. And we have 3 different products.
My dad's coming in. I need to tell him that we're back here.
Go ahead.
Or
Go get them.
where I am.
Okay. And then we're going to clean out some ear mites.
Okay.
So what I have here is just a cleaner. And I have some swabs here. And I just like the swabs to be moist. because the ear mites can get impacted and they can be dry, and trying to get them out it's better if we get them a little bit wet. So we have 3 different products here that are administered 3 different ways. We have the Strongid, which we're going to put in orally in their mouth. We have Revolution, but we have the generic kind. It's called Revolt. I don't know why they called it revolting, like revolting. I don't know, Revolt. Okay, but it's called Revolt. It's now generic form of Revolution. Revolution is our favorite flea treatment. It's the exact same thing, no different. It takes care of heartworms, which cats are not prone to heartworm, but they can get it. Fleas, flea larvae, roundworm. If you get the plus version, it does ticks. Thank you for reminding me of that the other day. And most specifically, this is the only flea treatment that will also kill ear mites, which is why it's our favorite, because so many cats come in with ear mites. And this works for a month. Actually, it works a little longer, but we refresh every one of our cats every month here in Kitten Krazy. We've had cats that have been here for 2 years. Every month they get a fresh dose of Revolution just to keep everything away. And then this is an injectable Droncit, or active ingredient is praziquantel. So let's go ahead and get one girl or the other.
We'll do little Lexi first.
Okay. And these girls, they're a little bit, fast.
Okay.
We don't want to put this bowl near her. This is Lexi.
Lexi.
Go ahead and put Lexi here. Lexi, as you can see, is absolutely gorgeous. This is a Siamese girl in a gray coat. Honest to goodness, she is totally Siamese. Her characteristics, her qualities or characteristics are insane. Like, you can put a triangle in your fingers here and their face will fit right in it. Long, lanky legs, long, lanky body, scrawny little tail. They're just really gorgeous, and their ears are really extra long. Just beautiful features. Hi, Lexi. And so we're going to treat Lexi, and this is how fast we're going to treat Lexi. She's the little one, right? Oh,
She's the little.
she's the little one.
Little
so
Lexi, yeah.
0.1 per pound. So
That's Mary's.
this is Mary's. Wait, what is
it?
this one? No, that's the 8 and that's the 6.
Okay.
You know what? I took my glasses off. That happens. I need Kristen here to always watch my back. All right, so that's going to be for her, that's going to be for her, and that's going to be for Lexi. Now, what I always say to people is, their mouth is going in this direction, out, right? So if you're going to put something in it, you've got to get them up so it goes down the hatch. And all you have to do is lift them up, tap the top tooth, go like that, and they go, yum, 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 gone. Okay? So just remember, when you're doing your cat, let their feet stay on the ground. This is called a scruff, right between the shoulder blades, which is our next spot that we're going to put something. Right between the shoulder blades, just lift up, take this, tap the top tooth, they open their mouth slightly and just squirt things in. Easy peasy. This is the Revolution. You're going to feel for those shoulder blades. It's the only spot on a cat that they cannot reach with their tongue, which is why that's where it gets administered. Do not put it anywhere else. They can reach like this with their arm and then lick and go like that if you put it too high. So we put it right between the shoulder blades. They cannot reach that. This right here is going to go into their, you want to hold her just right up here for me? This burns a little bit. It's thick, but I do it really fast. They don't even feel it. See that? Boom. Done.
All done.
All done. And so that's treating her. That's how fast it is. And then what we're going to do is I'm going to try to clean out her ears a little bit so you can see if there are some ear mites in here. I thought I saw some ear mites in here. And Kristen, yeah, you're going to get right in front of me there. And Keith, you're being so patient. All right, so here we go. I'm just going to see what we see. I just broke this thing. Okay. Not so bad on this side. Not so bad. But you'll see it's black. Okay, this isn't anything. That's not bad. even though that's what my thing looked like to begin with, that's just more waxy than ear mitey. So I'm just looking. Her ears feel a little warm to me, but that might be because she's in a little cage and she got warm. Here we go. Always one ear seems like ear mites start in one side and then they migrate to the other, but she doesn't really have any ear mites. So it just looked dark and dreary down in there. But I would say that's not ear mites. That's just a waxy ear like we get. So she's fine for nothing here to see, folks. No. Hi, Lexi. She's like,
little
nobody
squirty.
ever kisses me.
All right. And we're keeping her.
We're gonna keep her. Isn't she cute?
She is beautiful.
She's only 6 pounds, 8 ounces or
Very
something like that.
petite. I know.
She's
She's
a
had
little
enough
nervous.
today. She's had enough today.
She's had enough, but she is a mom. She shares responsibilities with her sister Mary, who looks just like her. And they have the 10 kittens, and we're going to get to those kittens in just a second. You're going to get to see them, but this is their mommy. She's got lots of milks. Mm-hmm. Yes. So we're probably going to keep them probably split them and let them stay with their mom another week or so, because that milk is going to, there's so much in there that it'll
can't.
dry up.
But we gave her Drontal, so we cannot put her with the
can't.
kittens.
That's right.
Unless we don't give Mary Drontal.
Yeah, we do want to give her Drontal, though. We need
Okay.
those. So we'll probably just start to dry them up. So that is the truth.
Okay.
There are products that you can not give to a mama cat that is nursing, and Drontal is one of them. Revolution can be given to a nursing mom. Strongyne can be given, but Drontal cannot. Like I said, it's super harsh. So... but they can go back on her after a certain amount of time, but we're just going to dry these girls up and let them move forward into spay. They'll probably have to dry up for at least 10 days because they're pretty full. Now, good thing is if we get a phone call where somebody lost a mama cat and there are kittens, we will try to put them on these girls if they still have milk. And if they want to do it here, they will continue to create milk as long as those kittens need it. They just have to want to right here. So you can put her over there, and I'll get out Mary. All right, Keith, if you want to get Mary out for me. Yep, perfect. Thank you. Come here, Mary. You've been in there long enough, huh, Marysies? And they want to bolt. Come here, Mary. Mary's a lot bigger than her sister, about almost 2 pounds bigger. But see, she's got all this milk. Here, Milky. You may have heard me say this before, but I had a neighbor that used to volunteer when it was at my house, long time ago. And she was tiny. She was a little girl, and she used to call this the milk station. And here, look at that milk station is nice and full, Mary. Say, I like to give some kittens some milks. All right, so again, we're just gonna set her like this. I'm gonna scruff her. I'm gonna pick her up. I'm gonna tap the top tooth, and in it goes. Boom. Shoulders. I got it. No worries. There we go. All right. Done. Okay. Bye, Mary. Let's see her ears really quick. We're doing a whole gamut here. She's going to get vaccinated and everything. So no, nothing here. We're good. We're just a little waxy, just like us. Okay. So, good girl. Okay. All right. We're going to take a short break, and then we're going to start on the kittens so we can go get Isaac back.
You are my best friend. I can't believe how God gave you to me. I can't believe just how good things can be. You've been here through the good